Hey guys, welcome to this episode of From the Pages. I am Anthony. This is Collectors Entertainment Network, and this week we're going to take a look at the July 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling. But before we get into all that, guys, I'd like to ask you, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I'd love to have you back. Please comment down below. Let me know your Inside Wrestling or any wrestling magazine memories, because I'd love to hear them. Also, please share this video with anyone you think may like it as well. That's how YouTube channels grow. It's always good word of mouth. And also, guys, just give this video a like because that helps a lot too. All right, we've already gotten halfway through the year. Now we're starting the second half of the year with July 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling. Let's get into the pages. All right, guys, here we go. The July 1985 issue. Dr. D. David Schultz, is he too dangerous for Hulk Hogan? Why Kerry Von Erich risks his future to wrestle Kamala. The Road Warriors take on Blackwell and Slaughter. Deadlock. And Nikita Koloff. I squash American wrestlers like bugs. Alright, let's get inside. And of course, it's all ads. As soon as you open up the magazine, we got to get to the next page before we can get to the table of contents. And there you could take a look at that. Inside Wrestling, the magazine that rips the lid off pro wrestling. Alright, keep going. There's a lot of ads in these magazines. You've got Sincerely Yours, which is sort of the, letters to the editor, which then does get continued into the back of the magazine. All these, columns in the front and articles all have like a page or two, and then they get continued in the back. All right, editor's notebook. You've got Peter King, editor-in-chief. Top Secret Behind the Dressing Room Door by Stu Sachs. Of course, more ads, more ads, more ads. On the Road. That's with Craig Peters. Wrestling's Greatest Subscription Deal. 24 sensational issues for only $25. That looks like you get 12 issues of The Wrestler and 12 issues of Inside Wrestling. So you can sort of double up your subscription. All right, and here we got names making news. Bill Apter reporting. You got Ivan and Nikita Koloff, Magnum TA, Kevin Sullivan, Brett and Buzz Sawyer, Samoans Sika and Afa, and Jack Hart versus Missing Link. Who is Jack Hart? He's not part of the Hart family, right? There's no Jack. It's obviously Brett and Owen and Bruce and I don't know. There were other ones, but I don't remember a Jack Hart. Anyway, back issues of Inside Wrestling and back issues of The Wrestler. Pretty cool stuff. Want to go back and order most, if not all of those. I mean, the 70s ones are cool, but I mean, I think I just want to basically get the 80s ones. Because, yes, you could go back into the 70s and order some. All right, Body Slams and Pinfalls. There's Hogan and Cyndi Lauper, and special subscription offer to Pro Wrestling Illustrated, 12 big issues, only $17. Pro Wrestling Illustrated was sort of the A magazine, and then the Wrestler and Inside Wrestling were B and C. I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, yes, Pro Wrestling Illustrated was definitely your top. Now, if you take those three, how would you guys rank them? I think Inside Wrestling, I don't know. Inside Wrestling or The Wrestler. I think Inside Wrestling was maybe the next, big one. Maybe The Wrestler. I don't know. You guys let me know. How did you rank them, or did you love them all the same? All right, The Insider. And then here's Superstar Pro Wrestling Game. Okay, so I've had ads for this in the previous magazines, but there's never been a picture. So here's a picture of it. And you can actually kind of see what's going on. I don't know. I still don't know, but at least, if I took a look and read it, I'd actually be able to maybe figure out what kind of game it is. I don't know if it was like a Stratomatic game, if anyone's ever played Stratomatic Baseball, or they have it for every sport, but Stratomatic Baseball is where it's at. All right, news from the wrestling capitals. You've got Chris Adams versus Kevin Von Erich in Austin, Texas. Dusty Rhodes versus Tully Blanchard in Columbia, South Carolina. Tito Santana versus Greg Valentine in New York, New York. Roddy Piper versus Jimmy Snuka in Boston, Massachusetts. Ric Flair versus Sergeant Slaughter in Philadelphia, PA. And Carlos Colon versus Superstar Graham in Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm surprised to see the NWA up in Philly. That is definitely a WWF, New York city. I know it's and New York was sort of like the short name for the WWF. That was the territory, the New York territory, which was basically just the Northeast. So, so Philly, Boston, New York, even as far down as Maryland was usually part of the WWF. So seeing the NWA up in Philly at this time, pretty interesting. All right, Matt Brock's plain speaking. There's Terry Taylor. Someday, going to be the Red Rooster. You got Brett and Buzz Sawyer, and you've got the Fabulous Freebirds, and you've got reports from Shreveport, Louisiana, Dallas, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, and Tampa, Florida. Every issue there's a New York one, and that's probably because every month WWF ran a Madison Square Garden show. All right, where are they now? We've got Blackjack Mulligan, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, Mr. Wrestling 2, and Killer Khan. Now, all these guys, every month, some of them are like old school guys, but a lot of them, they're like talking about people who are still active wrestlers. And it's like, where are they now? Maybe because they moved federations? I don't know. All right, you've got the Inside Wrestling Capsule Profile, number 108. It's Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster himself. There you go. Look at how young he was. All right, and here, why Kerry Von Erich risked his future to wrestle Kamala. I don't know. Why did he do that? This must have been one of those stints where Kamala was not in the WWF. He probably comes back maybe later in 85. Definitely by 86. He's definitely back by 86. But I'm not sure exactly when he comes back. But he'd been back. He was in the WWF back in like 80. And he just kept coming and going and coming and going. All right. Okay, and here we go. It's the official ratings. Let's take a look at who we got. There's your champs for each respective federation there on the top. Ric Flair, NWA, Rick Martel, the AWA, and Hulk Hogan, the WWF. Your most popular, your most hated, and your tag teams. I'll let you take a look at each complete list. There you go. But let's keep on going. All right, Dr. D. David Schultz, is he too dangerous for Hulk Hogan? I don't know about that. Now, what I'm wondering, and I'd have to read the article, like David Schultz and Hulk Hogan, they fought a lot in the AWA from what I understand. So I wonder if a magazine like this, which, Vince makes pretend nothing happened. These people just, appeared out of thin air. And then, so I wonder if in a magazine like this, they talk about their fights in the AWA and how, now it's spilled over to the WWF. All right, the Road Warriors take on Blackwell and Slaughter, Deadlock. This, of course, is... Now, they're in the AWA at this time, right? I don't even know. I think so. I think they're in the AWA. But Slaughter was just facing Flair recently. But, again, AWA and NWA, they did stuff together. They cross-promoted. All right, Nikita Koloff, I squash American wrestlers like bugs. Here is this month's interview. And, of course, it is with Nikita Koloff. And that continues. There he is with Ivan Koloff. Looks like wrestling. Looks like Magnum TA. But, all right, let's keep on going. All right, the General versus the King. Can Eddie Gilbert's military coup dethrone Jerry Lawler? I don't know. Can it, guys? I don't know too much about Eddie Gilbert. Of course, Jerry the King Lawler. I knew him even before he came to the WWF. Everyone knew who he was. All right, show the world you're a true wrestling fan. Now available a full line of top quality merchandise from the largest selling, most respected wrestling magazine in the world, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You got shirts, hats, frisbees, stickers, buttons, and then of course you can get it all in a combo pack over there. All right, one-on-one. This is sort of the fake phone call. I mean, they put it off as if it's real, but I don't think these phone calls ever happen and there's someone there transcribing it. But apparently it's a phone call between Chris Adams and Gary Hart. Let's keep on going. Wrestling 85 for today's wrestling fan. And we've got Sincerely Yours continue. Those are the letters to the editor. Premium back issues. We got Wrestler Annual, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Annual, the Wrestling Superstars, and Wrestling 84 and 85. I've asked before in a previous, does anybody know if these have came before 84? Because that's the furthest back they show them. Did they have Wrestling 83 or Wrestling 82? I don't know. All right, you've got Sincerely Yours continued, and then Go First Class, $14 for a subscription there. Here's the Dressing Room Door continued. And now you've got your back issues for Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I always loved reading what they were. And, of course, I love looking at the covers to all the old magazines that I did not have. Sorry, these pages, especially towards the back, get a little bit harder to turn. Because it's like newspaper paper. All right, Body Slams and Pinfalls continue. There's Hogan with Mr. T and then Captain Lou on the bottom there. And, of course, a bunch of ads. These magazines are full of ads. All right, you've got the Insider continued and Victory Sports Wrestling, only $3 each. Fall 84, Winter 84, Spring 85, and Summer 85. You can order all of those. Wrestling USA, the Kerry Von Erich article continued, and back issues of Sports Review Wrestling. Guys, I've said in previous episodes here that I have almost a full run. Who knows, by the time you see this, maybe I will have the full run of Sports Review Wrestling 1986. I think I'm only missing to December. So I do want to jump on the good old internets and see if I can grab that issue, and then we can look at that. As far as these Apter mags, I do want to make sure I have a full year before I start running through them. And then if there's any oddball magazines, things that are not like Apter mags, that I only have, one issue. I think I have like one issue of Wrestling Life or something like that. Or, those I might show you. But as far as like the Apter mags, I want to get full years. And then if it gets to the point where like I've got something and I don't plan on doing the full year, I don't plan on buying it, then eventually I'll show you. So there's all sorts of things planned for the future of the channel, so stay tuned. We've got lots of stuff, but especially old wrestling magazines, sort of the cornerstone of the channel. All right, this month in The Wrestler, Rick Martel, Bob Backlund, plus Sunshine, Hercules Hernandez, Don Knuckle, Ivan Koloff, Butch Reed, Junkyard Dog, and Mike Graham on sale now. And Pro Wrestling Illustrated, read about the Von Erich Dynasty, Hulk Hogan, Brutus Beefcake, Hillbilly Jim, The Rock and Roll Express, The Tonga Kid, Sergeant Slaughter, Wahoo McDaniel, all this and much more in the August 1985 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, on sale May 21st. Good stuff. And of course you've got the most incredible grab bag in wrestling history right here. Back issues that you can get. Here's your Hulk Hogan article, the Hulk Hogan Dr. D, David Schultz article continued. And then exclusive limited offer. Here is the program and I think a button to an NWA event in the Meadowlands in May of 84. So take a look at that. It is a Night of Champions. Here's the Road Warriors article continued. And over here, look at this, on sale now, Pro Wrestling Illustrated Super Color Special number 1. Featuring stories on Hulk Hogan, Kevin Von Erich, a life-size 22 by 32 color poster of the Road Warriors. All this and much more for only $1.50. Get yours today. Yeah, this is the first I'm ever seeing of this. And it does say it's Super Color Special number 1. So it must be a newer magazine that they are trying. All right, warehouse clearance of rare back issues. And then you've got your last page. Of course, it's just ads. And here you go, Wrestling's Best, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Inside Wrestling, and The Wrestler. 36 magazines for only $40. You could subscribe to all 3 right there. All right, guys, that is July 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling. All right, guys, that was the July 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling. Guys, again, I'm going to ask you, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share. All those things help the channel a lot, and I do greatly appreciate it. All right, July 1985 is in the books. Next episode will be the August 1985 issue. But until then, guys, have a good one.